Question number 8, the Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister and reads, at what precise time and date were the, quote, security-related, close quote, meetings of the 11th of December 2009 that he referred to yesterday diaried?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, to the best of my recollection, the meeting was arranged during the afternoon of 11 December 2009.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Can he confirm that when he referred to, quote, security-related meetings, close quote, he was referring to issues of national security or international security? If he was not referring to matters of national or international security, what was he referring to?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes.
The Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Mr Speaker, a supplementary question. If he had travelled by car from Hamilton to Auckland as previously arranged, would he have arrived on time for his security-related meetings?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, again on behalf of the Prime Minister, it has never been his practice to talk publicly about security matters and doesn't believe it's in the public interest to do so now.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Straightforwardly, it is not about the meeting or the content of the meeting.
Sorry, is this a point of order?
It is a
point of order, the Honourable Pete Hodgson.
The point of order is that the question hasn't been addressed. It was specifically about whether he would arrive in time for the first of these security-related meetings, not what the security-related meeting was about.
I think the member makes a fair point. The question was, had the car been used, would the Prime Minister have arrived in time? The question was not about what the security issues were. That deserves to be answered. The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, it is not the custom of this Prime Minister or any other to give any indication of the time or whereabouts of any meetings he has related to matters of national security, and he is not going to start now.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, I ask you to reflect on that, given the widespread publicity yesterday of the Prime Minister indicating that he had a security meeting in Auckland on the day in question. That answer can just not be true.
Well, order. The last point is not the issue. The issue is simply the question was asked not about the nature of the security meeting, but simply whether the Prime Minister would have arrived in time for the meeting, whatever the meeting was, had a motor vehicle been used. And we still haven't heard that answer. Now, whether that may not be in the public interest to answer that, I'm not sure, but we certainly haven't heard an answer to that question. The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I'll simply repeat the answer to the question. It is not the custom of this Prime Minister or previous Prime Ministers to provide information that could compromise or enable, could compromise the security of that kind of meeting. And on behalf of the Prime Minister, it is not in the public interest to provide that information now.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Without the tail on the end of my previous point of order, Mr Speaker, yesterday on Television 3, the Prime Minister indicated
No order. The
that
member's now debating the issue. No order. The member's now debating the issue. I've done what I can to get the question answered. And the Minister has indicated on behalf of the Prime Minister that he believes it's not in the public interest to answer that question asked. And I have to accept that. Members can make their judgment about that. And there are further supplementary questions available to dig into that. And the Honourable Pete Hodgson has that right.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
This is a point of order, the Honourable Pete Hodgson.
And I apologise. I'm not wishing to trifle in any way. I don't think I heard the I don't think I heard the Prime Minister say that it was not in the national interest to answer the question. I don't think I heard him say that
no order,
at all.
he did. At the end of the last part of his answer was that he considered it not in the public interest to answer the specific question. Well, point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove. I'm struggling to understand what it is, though.
Well, I'll enlighten you. Sir,
I'll be enlightened.
I take it in you making your judgment, sir, as to whether, because you do have extensive powers, you can ask the Minister, as you have I think twice, to adhere to the standing orders and ask it, but I simply pose this question to you. How can it be in the national interest to confirm he arrived
Order.
on time
The members
to
order. The members trying to debate. Order. Members trying to debate the issue. I can assist members in getting answers to questions, but I cannot judge. The Speaker cannot judge the quality of answers, nor can the Speaker judge where a minister asserts that something is not in the public interest for it to be answered. I can't judge that, and I mustn't as Speaker. It is not my role to judge that. People can judge that themselves. They've heard that assertion made that it's not in the public interest. People heard the question asked. They heard the Speaker seek and answer the question asked. People can make their own judgment about the assessment that it's not in the public interest to answer it. Further supplementary question, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Why was it in the public interest yesterday for the Prime Minister to indicate the timing of a security meeting, but it is not in the public interest for him to do the same today?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yesterday on behalf of the Prime Minister he gave a general indication of the type of meeting and no further details, and it's not his plan any more than it's been the custom of any other Prime Minister to release details on those matters.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Would he, the Prime Minister, have arrived on time to that security meeting he outlined yesterday if he took a car?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I've already answered that question, I think, 3 times.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, you have advised us to use tight and direct questions, and I think you have indicated previously that you thought the Minister hadn't answered that question.
Order. What I think on the matter is not relevant, but if the Minister is going to claim that it's not in the public interest to answer that question asked, which was a very tight question, the Minister should not just say, I've already answered. He should actually tell the House he believes it's not in the public interest. I believe he should tell the House that. In answering it, the Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I believe it's not in the public interest to provide those details.
Question number 9, Dr. Cam.